So Vendetta 3. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, so yeah, let's just roll the intro. Hello and welcome to SETR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Progress Wrestling Vendetta 3. Chapter 187 happened the other day. When I say the other day, I mean last night, and it was a damn good show. It was a damn good show that we're going to talk about every aspect of, but before we do, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try to apply to every single one of them as we dive into this, starting with the show overall. So I didn't get to watch this live. I was watching this on delay. I watched half of it last night and half of it this morning, and what my takeaway from this show is that I think you could make the argument, I'd have to go back and look, but I think you could easily make the argument that this is Progress's best show of the year, because there was not a single dud. There was not a single bad thing that happened on this show, in my personal opinion. And I think the matches themselves were up to they were all 4 out of 5 matches. Every single one was, in their own way, a 4 out of 5 match. And I think for a near 4-hour wrestling show, I think that's quite an achievement. It didn't drag. It didn't go on too long. There were shocks, there were surprises, surprise returns. You got pretty much everything you could want out of a wrestling show on Vendetta 3. And I think, yeah, you could make the argument that this is the best show of the year. I'd have to look back at the other shows because my memory is like goldfish. But yeah, I thought this was class. This was absolutely class. So we will waste absolutely no time and dive into my play-by-play review where I talk about every match, every angle, everything that happened on the show, starting with Jerry Bakewell opening the show. And then we got a match that I did not think would open, because I can't remember the last time Cara Noir has opened a show, but it was Cara Noir versus Jay Joshua. As soon as this match was announced, I was like, this is going to be an absolute banger. And I was correct, because this match was awesome. This match was absolutely sick. You had a really, really hot opening when Cara Noir just goes for Jay Joshua, and Jay Joshua just overpowers him. He hits like a power slam straight away, and Cara's sort of taken aback. He's like, okay, I don't really know what to do here. Then he gets the upper hand. He starts targeting the leg of Jay Joshua. And then we got probably my favourite. This wasn't my favourite match of the night, but probably my favourite spot of the night was when Cara Noir thinks he's got the advantage on Jay Joshua. He's got him in the corner. He goes for a swan woo, and Jay Joshua just blocks it. He just stands there, takes it. Cara Noir backs down, looking shocked, selling it fantastically. Jay Joshua looked like a badass. It was fantastic. From there, you had Jay Joshua hitting this awesome-looking fireman's carry and then kicking Cara Noir as he fell down after the slam. Looked really cool. Then you got into a striking exchange between the two. You had Jay Joshua hitting roundhouse kicks. You had massive, stiff forearms from the two. It was a really compelling striking exchange, ending in a blisteringly fast-paced striking sequence. So this bit was awesome, where they're just trading forearms, trading strikes. Then you have Cara Noir hit an axe kick. Then you have Jay Joshua come back. He manages to hit a German suplex, which gets no-sold. It was the other way around. Cara hits a German on Jay Joshua, and Jay Joshua no-sells it. He hits a German of his own. You have both men go for a running headbutt at each other. That looked awesome. Like, the double down sequence here was fantastic. You then had Cara go for a punt, but he's unable to hit it. You have a muscle buster attempt from Jay Joshua in the corner. That gets countered into a rude awakening, and then that sends Jay Joshua to the outside, and Cara runs, dives through the ropes, and locks in the blackout sleeper on the outside, trying to get that count-out win on Joshua. Joshua gets in just at 9, and as he gets in, boom, punt to the head from Cara Noir, 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. This match was awesome. This was such a great way to open the show. Cara looked like a badass. Jay Joshua loses nothing in defeat, and we'll get to Jay Joshua in just a little bit. But yeah, it was awesome. Jay Joshua looks crestfallen at the end. He looks down. He's lost both of his debut matches in Progress. What's next for him? We'll talk about that in a bit. Sensational way to open the show. The breakneck pace did not stop there, because the next match that we got was Leo Rush taking on Scott Oberman and Tommy Tanner. Tommy Tanner, I don't know who Tommy Tanner is, but I'm going to know who Tommy Tanner is after this match, because this was a breakout performance for that guy. Apparently he's only been wrestling for about a year. Oh my days, he's good. He is incredible. What a talent. And putting him in there with Scott Oberman, who is awesome, and Lio Rush, who is awesome, you're of course going to get a really entertaining three-way. You had both the good guys teaming up on the despised Scott Oberman, who's just getting great heat from the crowd. They both went at it, took out Scott Oberman, but then you got to a really good sequence in the middle of the match where Scott Oberman had just taken over, and he was working over both guys, getting the heat from the crowd. Really great work. Then you got the babyfaces making a comeback in a triple threat. So it's not even like a tag team match and they're making the comeback. It was like they made hot tags to each other, because you had Tanner hit a huge springboard forearm to Oberman. Then you had Oberman on the outside. Tanner dives out the way of Lio Rush. Lio Rush sprints through the ropes and hits Scott Oberman on the outside. Beautiful sequence. Then you had Tanner in the ring with Lio Rush, and they were just going at it. They were doing insanely quick stuff. It was just, it was breakneck. You got a massive diving cutter from Scott Oberman. Then you had Oberman get thrown into the ring post by Lio Rush, and that sends Oberman to the outside. Then you have Lio Rush just taking down Tanner. He hits a great spinning wheel kick. Then he hits his springboard stunner, and then a frog splash for the win. 1, 2, 3. Awesome match. But if this teaches me anything, it's that maybe the Black Heart for Lio Rush isn't the way to get wins, because he was not Black Heart here. You know, he's lost both of his matches where he was Black Heart, and he was just normal, regular Lio Rush here, and he won. So, yeah, maybe the amulet is not as powerful as we all thought it was, but this was an awesome triple threat. Like, so unbelievably fun, and yeah, it kept the pace of the show going, which was, like I said, a breakneck pace throughout. Then we had a tag team match between Lycos Jim and the family. Moth Dog themselves as G-Money and Cougar went in there with Lycos Jim. Now, this match was different. It was fun. This was a very fun match, but there was a lot of character stuff here. Really cool sort of breakdown of the Moth Dog and the G-Money family. That seems to sort of be imploding upon itself. Lycos Jim is imploding, so you've got some nice dynamics in there. And you had Session Moth Martina originally. She comes out and she says that, Gene, you're liking these fans way too much. You're bringing in strays to the group. Talking about Cougar. That, to me, is a great direction for the family to go. And then you juxtapose that with Lycos Jim coming out. Kid Lycos 2 comes out with his regular Lycos Jim music. Then that music is cut off, and Lycos 1, Kid Lycos' music plays, and he comes out, and he has, I don't know if it's like a real song, but I think we can all agree it's no Wonder Years, it's no original Lycos Jim music, so I think he's got that really obnoxious music to kind of get the heat, and it works, because everyone here hated Kid Lycos. You had a fun sequence at the beginning where G-Money and Lycos 2 were in there, and they were being a bit goofy. You had Gene blowing raspberries on Lycos 2, and then after they'd done a little bit of grappling, Lycos just runs from the corner. He's not the legal man, and he clocks Cougar on the outside, sending him to the floor. He's doing all these heel tactics without Lycos 2 having an input in it, which is cool, which is a great dynamic for the team. You had an awesome striking exchange in there from Cougar going after Kid Lycos. That's a singles match that I would love to see, because they had really great chemistry in the ring. And then you had the ending. You had Lycos again loading that knee up with something. He's loading it up with, I think it was a hammer again. He's putting it in the knee pad. He goes for the running knee on Cougar, who is being held by Lycos 2. Clocks Lycos 2. An Ainsley Lariat from G-Money, and a great looking, it's like a Dominator into a knee that Cougar did. It was a sick finisher. It was like a Dominator, dropped onto his knee face first. Beautiful finisher. And yeah, the G-Money family, Moth Dog, pick up the win. I think this is cool. This was the right decision, and the implosion of Lycos Jim makes me very sad, but it's something that we will keep an eye on, because after the match, they were pushing and shoving. They were not on the same page. They went to the back. That heel turn implosion, either Lycos 2 is going to turn, or we're going to see the breakup of Lycos Jim, and that's going to be very, very sad. So yeah, I think this was a home run. It was funny. It was dynamic. It had great characters. Yeah, everything you could want. And then we got the grudge match. We got Charlie Sterling taking on Simon Miller. Now, I have a lot to say about what happened after this match, because I cannot freaking wait to talk about that. But the match itself, was awesome. It was so much fun, because these guys don't even get in the ring, and they're just brawling with one another. They're brawling on the outside. They're brawling on the bar. Charlie Sterling gets put on the bar, dragged across the bar by Simon. They brawl to the merch. They're getting chucked into the merch stands. Simon, I think it's Simon or Charlie. It might have been Charlie, actually. Charlie gets a Christmas tree and starts hitting Simon with a Christmas tree, and they're just brawling all over the place. It was so much fun. It was like an old classic Sting walk and brawl through the crowd. It was so much fun. You had Sterling hit a great looking senton through a chair on the outside. You had a back body drop from Simon, sending Sterling onto the apron. Then you had a load of chairs laid up and they go crashing through some chairs as Simon goes for a spear. Yeah, this was all before the match had even started, and then they get rolled back into the ring and the match officially starts. Simon's bleeding from the head at this point, and you just go for big move after big move. Charlie goes for a spear, Simon goes for a spear, he manages to hit a jackhammer for a near fall, and then it looks like he's going to hit the spear, but Josh Holly comes back out. Josh Holly, who Simon previously fought in Progress, he comes out and sort of distracts Simon, and Sterling manages to use that to his advantage because he gets a great near fall, but then Simon goes for the spear again. Josh Holly gets in the ring and Simon decides to spear Holly instead. That gives Sterling the advantage to hit a low blow and hit a spear himself to pick up the win. That's right, Sterling won with Simon's own move. Awesome, very creative finish. I wasn't expecting Josh Holly to really get involved, but I think it's a great position for him to be in. And yeah, I loved this match. I thought this match was so much fun. Unbelievably fun. It was such a throwback match of just carnage, and I loved it. And then, to top it all off, Sterling's in the ring. He's getting suited back up. He's putting his clothes back on. And he's cutting a promo about how he is the worst person in Progress, how no one can sink to his levels, do what needs to be done. And then the lights go out, and who should come back, make their return, but Spike frickin' Trevay. Now, for anyone who does not know who Spike Trevay is, one, you're in for a goddamn treat, and two, that's my guy. You know, Spike is my personal, everyone has this, you have your own champions, like you have the AEW champion that you love, you have the WWE champion that you loved. Spike Trevay is my Progress champion. Like, I was there from the beginning to the end of that run. He will be my forever Progress champion, and he is such a great wrestler, such a great promo. I'm so unbelievably happy that the guy is back because he is awesome, looking absolutely shredded. He was this shredded in North when he did the surprise debut at their show, and yeah, he's back. He cuts a sick promo. A babyface Spike Trevay is something that I never thought I would see. And him, putting everyone on notice, saying he pissed everyone off, running down Charlie Sterling, calling him a knobhead. It was exceptional. And I loved it. And if anything, the idea of a babyface Spike Trevay crossing paths with a heel Cara Noir is something that just it blows my mind. I cannot wait if that happens. Maybe in like a Thunder Bastard match or something. That's where they cross paths, tease that. Yeah, awesome. Like, such an awesome return. I'm so happy to see Spike back. Spike versus Sterling, they have history. Dominatus Rayne, they have that history inbuilt. So this feud's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Sensational stuff. And that capped off the first half of the show. And the first half of the show, yeah, it was sick. Then we got Jerry Bakewell's Heroes section, and shout out to the Billy Connolly one because that one really popped me. And then we got, I think, my favourite match of the show, and that was Alexis Falcon versus Miyu Yamashita. This match was awesome. This was so good. Like, this was essentially a Tokyo Joshi Pro match. And for me, I love that. I love Japanese style, and having it here with Miyu Yamashita, who is one of the best wrestlers in the world, paired with Alexis Falcon, who is also incredible. Like, it was of course going to be magic. There's a sign of respect at the beginning, and then they both start locking up, and it is that slower pace, that sort of build where they're locking in, headlocks, takedowns, and then you get a nice bit where Alexis Falcon does the headstand, she pops out of the headstand, you get the sign of respect. It was a really well-paced opening, and it built and built to Miyu using those kicks. That's what she's well known for. She's known for those devastating kicks, and when she had Alexis Falcon sitting down on the mat and just kicking her in the back one more time, they sounded sickening. You had Falcon get a few hope spots in every now and then, but they kept getting shut down by Miyu, who would just shut her down usually with kicks. But then you had some really cool bits where Alexis would do the splits and she would duck out of the way of a kick, but she did that one too many times. She goes for the splits and gets kicked with a roundhouse by Miyu. That was class. You had this awesome bit where they're doing like the strong style thing where they're trading strikes and Alexis Falcon is just laying in these forearm shots and Miyu is just leaning into them. It looked awesome. She looked like such a badass. And then you had like this awesome bit where they just trade German suplexes again, similar to the Jay Joshua match at the beginning, but they trade them and they hit their big moves. They both hit Death Valley drivers on each other, then they fire up, looks like they're going to charge at each other, and they just both fall down. I thought that was great. That was great, like strong style kind of vibes. That was giving me the strong style vibes, the King's Road style. That I was like, okay, this is it. This is the Japanese style that I love, and yeah, they worked it so well. Following that, Falcon manages to lock the legs of Miyu into the ropes and she hits an off with her head for a near fall, which commentary put over. No one's kicked out with that yet, and Miyu does. Great near fall. And the way she kicked out was so awesome as well, because Alexis Falcon kind of was like pushing the legs back, and as it got to 2, Miyu just kicked her with the back of the leg right in the face, and then Alexis manages to hook the legs again into the ropes, hits an off with your head, and beats Miyu Yamashita 1-2-3. Awesome. I was expecting Miyu to win, to be honest, and Alexis winning, I think, is class. Absolutely class, because that sets up a new contender for Rayne Leverkusen. Alexis Falcon versus Rayne is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that. And this match, this match was everything I love about pro wrestling, particularly bringing across a more strong style, Japanese style. I loved it. It was so good, and probably my favourite match of the show. It's a sleeper goated match. Like, genuinely go out your way to check this one out, because it was sick. Next up for the Progress Tag Team titles, we had Diamond Eyes defending against Sunshine Machine. This match was really good. This was a really good tag match. It was a Sunshine Machine match, so of course it's going to be fun and you're going to get some awesome stuff in there. But this started off insanely fast paced. I think that's the story of this show, is that everything was at such a fast pace from the get-go. When TK Cooper and Nico Angelo were in there and they were just trading strikes back and forth, they were dodging. It was so unbelievably quick. You then had Diamond Eyes isolate TK Cooper in the ring and just work over him for a little bit, build into that Chuck Mambo hot tag, in which he gets in and he just runs wild, because Chuck Mambo has an awesome hot tag. He does it in like the majority of the matches when he's doing all the springboards and he's doing the chest slaps. Like, come on, there's no one who does a better hot tag than Chuck Mambo. You then had like this crazy looking Hurricane Rana from the top rope, in which Chuck Mambo does a super Hurricane Rana from Nico Angelo, and I don't think it fully connected. I can't tell if TK Cooper was supposed to hit a cutter or if he was supposed to get speared by Nico Angelo, but they all sort of crash. Like, it was a beautiful looking car crash, and that was one of the coolest spots in the match. You then had Mambo getting isolated by Mills and Angelo, and you had a great near fall where it looks like Connor Mills is going to pick up the win, but he gets a shooting star press from TK Cooper, courtesy for his troubles. Then you had TK Cooper get sent to the outside with a huge flying knee from Nico Angelo, and then the ref gets taken out, and I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Ref bump in this match? Are we going to get a low blow cheating from the bad guys? No. Jay Joshua comes down and he pulls the ref out. That is a great red herring, because we had the sort of ref bump and we thought that was going to be the initial cost of Sunshine Machine. No. The ref gets back in the ring as it looks like Sunshine Machine are going to win. Jay Joshua comes down and pulls the ref out. He gets in and he starts taking down Sunshine Machine. There's a great sort of fireman's carry from Connor Mills to Jay Joshua. He throws him and then hits, I believe it's Chuck Mambo with a spine buster, and they pick up the win. Diamond Eyes win, and we have a new cool badass faction as well. We have Jay Joshua in there. Bad guy Jay Joshua. I think it was an awesome turn. It was an awesome heel turn. Awesome angle to end the tag team title match. I loved it. It was a great angle. Great use of Jay Joshua. Really great use of Jay Joshua. And I think there's more in the tank here. I think we could potentially get, like a stip match between these guys. I know they had the ladder match in which they won the titles, but I think a different stip match, maybe like a no DQ match between them. I think you could do something really creative with this feud and really build it and build it and build it. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. Again, another angle, knocked out the park, sensational stuff. Next up for the Progress Women's title, we had Emersyn Jane taking on the champion, Rayne Leverkusen. Now, I thought this match was class as well. This match was so good. Like, I thought this told a really good story of the back of Rayne Leverkusen and Emersyn Jane just targeting that back with brutal looking moves, brutal looking stretches, brutal looking backbreakers, brutal looking slams. It was a really cool story to tell to take away the power of Rayne. The opening sections of this match as well also showed that both women were very evenly matched. They were sort of trying to one-up each other. They were doing the grapples, they were doing the roll-ups, and they were rising out of pin attempts. But then you also had springboard moves that they would attempt. Emersyn Jane hit a big springboard crossbody, and then Rayne Leverkusen hit her own springboard back elbow as well. They were sort of the evenly matched playing field here. You had some awesome moments in here in which, like, Rayne goes to hit the springboard back elbow again, but is caught mid-air by Emersyn Jane in a German suplex, and then Rayne gets out. She managed to hit a strike of her own, and then Emersyn Jane managed to hit another German suplex, this time on her knees, which takes insane amount of power. Like, there's so much sick German suplex action on this show. There was a really great near fall as well when Emersyn Jane rolls up Rayne in a mousetrap pin, like a really deep pin, and everyone was like, maybe they could have done it, but Rayne manages to kick out, and the ending of this match was Rayne getting Emersyn Jane on the top rope and hitting a reverse Poison Rana from the top rope. It looked brutal. It looked like such a sick bump, and then she hits the Thunderstruck, the sort of step-up enziguri right on the head of Emersyn Jane for the 1-2-3. Awesome title defense, like really cool. I love that Rayne is defending these on pretty much every show. I think that's such a great fighting champion, and she's clearly got the next person in line, which is Alexis Falcon, or a rematch with Emersyn Jane, because this was close. This was close. There were times when Emersyn Jane looked like she had her. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a rematch. Rayne's just such a great champ, like such a great champ, and there's so much to do with her reign, no pun intended. So yeah, awesome women's title match and great story. What's the word? Great future stories to tell with this belt and this champion. And then we got the main event for the Progress World Championship as man like Deriess took on Tate Mayfairs. Now, I thought this match was really, really good. I felt like when the ref bump hit, I felt is when it really switched into its next gear, because there's the opening sequence. Both guys are pretty evenly matched. They're doing a lot of grappling. They're doing a lot of power moves. Deriess showing his strength as always. But this sort of story was, shall we trust Tate Mayfairs? Is Tate Mayfairs trustworthy enough to not cheat in this match? Which I think was an interesting story to tell. But I thought that only sort of really got going when the ref bump happened towards the end. So towards the end of the match, the ref gets taken out and Tate goes to the outside and he gets the brass knuckles. It looks like he might cheat to win that title. It looks like it might be the only way for him to win. He doesn't do it. He goes against his evil judgment, I guess, and that's when he is caught by Deriess, and Deriess looks like he's going to pick up the win. He hits a great looking sort of pop-up powerbomb, which was awesome. Great pinfall, and he locks in the sharpshooter, the sharpest shooter. That was a great near fall spot as well. Then you had Tate showing his resiliency, because he doesn't tap in the sharpshooter. He doesn't quit and get pinned when a 450 is hit by Deriess. And Deriess is kind of like, I don't know what else I can do to put him away. He's sort of like struggling. And then you built to this final section of match, which was just big move after big move. Deriess goes for a diving cutter, hits it, 2 count. Then Tate manages to counter a tombstone pile driver with a tombstone pile driver of his own, but with the spin for a near fall himself. And both men are just kind of like, we don't know what else we can do. You get a great bit where Deriess goes flying into some chairs on the outside. He looks like he's going to hit like a spear through some chairs, and Tate just sends him flying. He moves out the way of the spear and sends Deriess through there. Then you get back in the ring. Deriess goes for a drop kick in the corner and his legs get caught on the top rope. Tate sees this, goes to the corner and hits the diving axe handle, coast to coast style. Then he hits the Jaguar knee. Then he hits a twist of lemon for a near fall. That was expertly done. Such a great near fall off those 3 moves and a great fast-paced sequence. Not knowing what else to do, Tate goes to the top rope and they're both on the top rope. They're brawling on the top rope and Tate manages to hit a Pepsi plunge. He hits the top rope pedigree for a near fall, but as he pins Deriess, as the 2 count hits, Deriess rolls him through 1, 2, near fall. That allows Deriess to roll up a pin of his own, and as Tate powers out with his strength, he rolls through, rolls round, and Deriess manages to catch him in a pile driver, a almost gotch style pile driver on Tate Mayfairs for the 1-2-3. He picked up the win. Deriess won this absolute war. Like I said, the first half of the match I didn't necessarily get on board with fully, but when the action picked up after that ref bump, I was like, this is awesome. Like, such a great main event style match. And yeah, they have a sign of respect at the end. Tate doesn't go to cheat or anything like that. He doesn't go to hit Deriess with the belt. He instead hands him the belt and goes to the back. Deriess is tapping on the mic. He's like going to make a great speech. Of course he does, because he likes doing that after all his title defenses. Lights go out. The lights go out. Coronoir's in the ring. He hits a package pile driver onto the chair on Deriess. Yeah, Coronoir is coming for that belt. He sits on a chair right by Deriess, puts his feet up like it was no work whatsoever. I loved it. It was a great angle. I'm not sure when we're going to get the match. Probably not going to do the match at Unboxing. It'll probably be the end of January show that they do it. It was awesome. A great closing angle, and it was a great show. Like, this capped off what I thought was a fantastic Progress show. I think it may be the strongest of the year. I've given some high scores this year, but I think this is going to be 5 out of 5. I genuinely think this is a 5 out of 5 show in terms of angles, in terms of matches, in terms of match quality, everything. I loved it. I think it's a 5 out of 5 show, and one you should definitely go out of your way to see. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen next? Who do you think will be the next Progress World Champion? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.